Bullying is a crisis in our society. It's widespread. Our young kids experience it in the parks and playgrounds. Our school age kids and teenagers experience it in and out of school. And even adults experience it in workplaces and in sports and social activities. I'm Dr. Ellen Ettinger. I'm going to discuss what constitutes bullying. I'm going to talk about 4 different types of bullying. And most important, I'm going to talk about what we can do to stop bullying in our society. So, first, I want to say, most importantly, no one deserves to be bullied. Sometimes kids think it's their fault that they did something wrong and they're afraid to tell their parents or a teacher. No one deserves to be bullied. It's not your fault. Don't experience this alone. Kids experience it and they're harmed and they don't know what to do. Sometimes they observe their friends and classmates and they don't know what to do for them as well. So, this is a topic that we really need to talk about. We need to educate our kids and we need to take steps to stop it from happening. I'm going to talk about all of that today. First, being bullied can result in stress, fear, depression, even severe. People who are bullied often feel a sense of powerlessness, humiliation, and despair. And again, we don't really know how to handle it. And kids are often afraid to stand up for other kids who are bullied because they're afraid that they'll become the target of the bully. And that can be a very realistic fear. So, again, our kids need to be educated about what can be done when bullying experiences happen. And again, our kids experience it themselves and they observe it happening. And they need to really learn what they can do. The bully seems to come from a position of power. And in our society, there's really not a whole lot that they feel prevents them from doing what they do. It's pretty much open field. Bullies don't feel a sense of accountability, a sense of being responsible, held responsible for what they do, because in many environments, it's free game for bullies to do what they do. I'm going to talk about specific steps that we can take to stop bullying. The first thing we need to do is to set a climate in society that doesn't accept bullying anymore. I'm going to be talking today about setting what I call a ZTB, a zero tolerance for bullying policy in schools, in communities, in workplaces, in society. We need to step in and stop bullying. Again, bullies come from a position of power and they feel there's nothing that stops them, and we need to change that freedom that they feel. So let's start first with a definition. What is bullying? Bullying is deliberate behavior that's upsetting, that's done intentionally to hurt or humiliate another person. And it's done repeatedly over time. It's usually not a one-time event. I'm going to talk today about 4 different types of bullying: verbal, physical, social, and cyberbullying. So, first, verbal bullying: calling somebody names, making fun of them to embarrass or humiliate them, teasing, or taunting someone. In this category, it's all in the words, but words can be harmful and used to hurt. The second category is physical, so it involves hitting, kicking, scratching, any unwanted physical contact or physical threats. Third, social and emotional bullying. So leaving someone out of a group, saying you can't join us for lunch, or not including somebody in social groups or sports groups, spreading bad rumors, hurtful rumors, prejudicial comments, often harassing someone for being dissimilar from them on the basis of religion or LGBTQ or physical differences or mental or cognitive challenges, calling people fat, thin, tall, short, stupid, otherwise. These are upsetting and inappropriate name calling and labeling. And fourth, cyberbullying. So the bully sits home on social media and may post negative and embarrassing comments about someone, rumors, or inappropriate photos or images that are embarrassing or humiliating or damaging. And it's even difficult to discuss all of these because they cause tremendous harm to people. But it's important for all of us to know them because you know what? Knowledge is power. And it's the first step in moving forward to stop bullying, to bring knowledge of what happens and what occurs so we know the steps that we need to take. So, first of all, since I mentioned the types of bullying, I do want to mention bullying is not funny. It's not a sign of a good, powerful leader, and it's not acceptable. What we know about bullying is that bullies are often very insecure of themselves, and they're desperate. They're looking for power. And so they try to develop or create power by bullying. But it's not a long term strategy. They keep having to bully over time. If we educate our kids, we will teach them that bullies are actually cowards who are trying to find places of power. And if we educate kids about bullying that way, we really take the air, take the wind out of a bully's power because we all disclose and disempower what they do. They no longer feel like a powerful person with authority and leadership. We expose who they are. Bullies are really cowards. They're not strong, productive, powerful people in reality. And again, in order to disempower bullies, we need to adopt in society a zero tolerance for bully, a ZTB policy. I'm presenting that here, and I hope that schools, community programs, and workplaces will adopt this. We need schools to educate our kids, to have programs so that our children will know how to handle it when they see it. Because kids are often embarrassed to go home and tell their parents. Sometimes they think they did something wrong. I have a friend who told me, and he's my age, he's an adult, but he told me when he was in a young grade, I think he said second grade, he had his lunch stolen from him every day. And he was afraid to go home and tell his mother. He was afraid to get into trouble. Or he was afraid she would go up to school and complain, and then he'd get in more trouble with the bully. And that was when he was young. That damage has lasted for years. He remembers that happening. And he's an adult. It's been decades since that happened. And he didn't know how to handle it. He was embarrassed and ashamed. And that's what happens with bullying. And we want to stop that. We don't want that to happen anymore. So it's really important that we have education and we implement policies to stop it so that bullies know that they're accountable, they'll be responsible, that they're not powerful, and that their targets know that there's help. There are steps that they can take. So I'm going to talk about a few options, but I'm going to start with one option. If you're bullied, one option if you feel comfortable doing this, it's to look right at the bully, straight and direct with eye contact, and say, stop what you are doing. Stop calling me names, or stop spreading these rumors, whatever it is, directly, and then leave. If you feel comfortable to do that, try to be calm and not overly emotional if you can do that. If they see you cry or scared or upset, they may get satisfaction from seeing that. So try to be really factual, straight, short, and direct, and then leave if you can. Stop what you are doing. Sometimes role playing this in classrooms can help kids prepare if they experience this, so they have the courage to stand up and do that. And if you don't have the courage to stand up and confront the bully, and that's totally understandable, and especially if you don't feel safe, walk away, leave. Find an adult you can talk to, a parent, a teacher, a school counselor, a coach, or another trusted adult. Don't experience bullying alone. Again, people who are bullied often feel powerless, afraid, and alone. So don't experience bullying alone. Nobody deserves to be bullied, and don't isolate yourself. And kids don't know what to do when they're bullied. And again, they're often afraid to stand up for other kids. They're afraid they'll become the target of a bully. And until we implement zero tolerance policies, they're afraid they won't have a solution for themselves as well. That's why we need to have ZTB policies in schools, in sports programs, in community programs, and also in workplaces, so that it becomes factual that bullying is not allowed. And we need educational programs to educate our kids about what bullying does, about why it's not allowed, and about how bullies will be held accountable so that they don't feel powerful. Because right now in society, in many environments, bullies feel, what's going to happen to me? I can post this on social media. Nothing's going to happen to me. I can make a kid afraid. I can leave kids out of lunch and tell them, you can't join us. Again, in many environments, there's no accountability. So bullies feel empowered. It's almost like our environments enable bullying until we actually will set policies to prevent it. So let's talk about 3 keys to remember. 1, no one deserves to be bullied. Don't experience this alone. Speak to a parent, a teacher, a school counselor, or another trusted adult. And I've often been told as well by some people that they've been bullied by a teacher or a teacher's aide or a sports coach. So not every adult may be a trusted individual. You may have to find the right person to speak to, and keep looking, keep speaking out and talking so that you can find the right person. Second, educational programs can really help. Make sure your child's school has a program, and if they don't, speak to the principal or school administrators or guidance counselors and ask them for programs. Ask them for a ZTB policy. Make sure we speak about this, we discuss this with our kids. And make sure your kids are comfortable so that if they see something happening, they can feel comfortable to talk to you. And third, again, we need to have clear, straightforward ZTB zero tolerance for bullying policies in our communities, in our schools, in our programs, in our society. That will disempower the bully. Again, for adults, we need to have these in workplaces, on sports teams, in community groups. Again, if you'd like to start a conversation with your child, you may want to set them up and watch this video with them first. So this way you have a basis to start from rather than just starting from scratch. And you can watch this video with them and then discuss some questions afterwards. And I'm going to give you some questions that you might want to bring up. First, have you ever experienced bullying? Have you ever seen it happen to a friend or a classmate? If it happened, what would you do if it happened to you? What would you do if you saw it happen to somebody else, a friend or a classmate? And again, we've talked about many of these answers, and we have to keep talking about it until we have the ZTB policies in place so that we take the wind, we take the energy out of bullies' sails so that they realize this is not something that's tolerated anymore. They don't have the freedom to be bullies, to feel empowered, to think that they're powerful. Because with education, we all learn that bullies are often really very insecure who try to bully because they want to find power. But it's not a form of long-term power. It's really being cowardly. Bullies are really cowards. And with education like that, when kids learn that, it really takes the power out of their actions. So again, this is really important. Talk to your kids, talk to principals, school administrators. And if your schools have difficulty or want help creating programs, I've done that with schools. So I'm happy to step in. I will leave my contact information below if you'd like to talk to me further about this. And again, I hope this topic is helpful for you. If it is, please hit thumbs up. Please subscribe so that you can benefit when I come out with other videos. And feel free to share this topic, share this video with other people. In fact, I'd even ask you to share this with somebody you know who might benefit from this as well, because this is such a widespread problem. And I really want to get the message out that we need to develop and publicize and talk about ZTB policies so that we can take that power, we can disempower those bullies that are still out there. Again, I hope this topic was helpful. If you've been following me, you know that I do come back every week. So I will be back next week with another topic on another issue. If you have a topic you'd like me to speak about, feel free to let me know. So I will see you soon. Until then, be empowered and let's talk again together soon.